nerds, what's up? So today we're doing a review on a book. It's going to be completely spoiler free, and it is Ignite by Lily Paradis. I was sent this for an honest review by the publishing company, so it's my first review that I get to do by a company that sent me something, and that's really exciting. Let's do this. So first off, the plot. This book is about a girl named Lauren Lindsay, whose father has passed away in the past when she was a teenager. She turns 21, she's about to graduate college, all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden she gets a phone call that her stepmother, who she had only met a few times, has also passed away. And she, in her will, her stepmother left the 3 stepchildren, who are 3, 10, and 16, to Lauren Lindsay. So she is all of a sudden put into this situation where she has to decide if she's going to become a parent to 3 children that she has only met on a few occasions, one being her father's funeral, or is she going to let them go into the foster care system and continue with school and everything. It's a very big, like, either or situation in the book. So that's the basic plot. I really connected to this story. Lauren is 21, I'm 21. The big difference between the story and my situation that I'm about to talk about is the fact that Lauren didn't know the children, but I actually am the guardian in my mom's will for my 2 half-siblings. My 2 brothers, they're now 7 and 12. So if anything is to happen to my mother and my stepdad, then I would be the guardian. Now, I know that, so that's, you know, a big difference, but just watching Lauren go through dealing with being 21, almost graduating, all of a sudden being thrust into this situation because there's been a death in the family was very emotional for me to read. And I think that Lily Paradis did a great job giving you all of the points of view that Lauren has to think about and all of the emotions that Lauren has to go through. There's this really amazing scene that Lauren and Callie, which is the 16-year-old sister, this isn't a spoiler, they go into the room that was her dad's when he was alive and the stepmom's, Callie's mom's, when she was alive, and they go in there and like going through all of this stuff, and it's just amazing to watch the emotions of both Callie and Lauren in that scene. It's amazing. So there's definitely a lot of great moments in this book. I just loved it. I loved everything, and I connected so well with all of the characters, honestly. I even connected with Callie, the 16-year-old, because, you know, she's dealing with her mother's death at 16. That's crazy. Okay, so let's talk about the writing. Now, there was some controversy that happened with this book and Lily Paradis between Lily and her publishing company. They had some issues. I'm going to link Lily's blog post about it and describing everything that went on between that in case you're curious, because there are a lot of spelling and, you know, like just like the hard writing issues in this book. There's a lot of like misspellings and grammar, things like commas are missing sometimes and stuff like that, and that is not what I want to talk about because that's something that Lily as a writer had no control over, and I don't want to judge the book based on that. I want to judge it based on the writing, which I thought was really good. Lily did an amazing job. This is her first book, and it just did not feel like a first book. It felt like a good book. That's what I have to say. There were some things that I did have issues with it, which is why I only gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought some of the situations that happen and some of the things that end up being true about the family and stuff were very over the top, over dramatic. It's very early in the book, there's an avalanche that happens, like what? I don't understand why that needed to be a thing. But, so there's just some like over dramatizations in this book, but you know, it's fiction, so it was still entertaining to be sure. There were a lot of things that happened that felt like it was put there just to make the rest of the plot easier to work with. The love interest, Dean, and his sister live by themselves, which is totally fine, okay, and he has custody over his sister. We know that at some point they were in foster care, but somehow they have a shit ton of money, and I'm not going to get into why they have a shit ton of money because I want you to read the book. That just made the story easier because he was able to be the love interest that pays for things. That kind of bugged me, but not enough to not like the story. Like, it was so good. That's the point. So the pacing of this book is very fast-paced, which I loved. It wasn't too fast-paced. It didn't feel like anything was ever cut off to go to the next part or anything like that, but I just always wanted to be reading this book. Every time I had to put it down, I was upset. I'm in school right now, so I have been reading so slow. It took me a week and a half to finish this book, but it should have only taken me 2 days. If I didn't have to put it down because of school, it would have only taken me 2 days. It was just so good. It just made me want to keep reading every time I had to put it down. So I want to talk about some characters other than Lauren, of course. Because of the air of mystery that's going on in this book, you don't really know much about some of the characters. Some of that, it's just, why would you do that, or something. But finally, at the end of the book, you do get to understand things, so that was nice. And of course, Emma, the 3-year-old, is my favorite because she is the most adorable thing. My number one thing that I really loved about this story is the fact that the love story is not insta-love. It is very ever-growing, and it happens throughout the entire story. Like, obviously there's a connection from the start, but they don't fall in love at the very beginning or anything like that. It's a very immense cycle, and it just keeps happening throughout the book, and then finally towards the end you get what happens, and it's wonderfully written. That was amazing for me. You do not get that in YA very often, and so I was so happy. I guess this is technically new adult because she's 21, but that was amazing. Amazing. I loved it. Would this book make a good movie? I absolutely think it would. It would make a great drama. Like, I mean, a family drama. That's what it is. And a romance, but mostly a family drama, and it would be amazing to get to see some of the things that are explained in it. There are some things that would maybe have to be cut, and some things that I would be okay with them shortening, but it would make a great movie. So I said earlier that I rated it a 4 out of 5, but I actually did rate it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads, and I'd probably rate it a 4.5 if I had half stars because of some of the things that I felt were overly dramatized. But other than that, it was such an amazing story. I loved all of the characters. Even the best friends, the friends that were on the outside but were also on the inside, but they were amazing. You know, all of the siblings, all the step siblings were great. The sister, Dean's sister, loved him. I even loved Jed, whose name was very similar to Uncle Jeb in The Host, and that's all I could think of while I was reading it. Amazing. Everyone should read it. I recommend it. That's the point. I'm telling you right now that you need to read it if you haven't read it yet. And so I'm just going to throw it in your face, throw it, and read it. And that's the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And comment down below if you've read Ignite and what you thought of it, or if you're planning on picking it up now. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!